Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember where we are?
We are in the realm where you are sick as fuck.
I wouldn't say sick as fuck. I just don't feel at my best.
Right, yeah. Not like at all.
Like, husband.
But other than that, we are still in Proverbs.
We are in Proverbs.
And we are in the Solomonic Proverbs.
Yes.
And we are, I believe we just finished chapter 18?
Correct, 18.
18. I wanted to say 17, but it's 18.
That's okay. Last night you said 16 when it was 17.
Yeah, so before we get into what we're doing today, I got one thing I want to say.
What's that?
And that's that y'all should go to our website, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com.
Why?
Because I've got our merch shop. It's a separate website, but I've now got it embedded in our site.
Aww.
So you can get to it right from our website.
You updated our website.
I
so
did.
You're like,
I did.
Everybody go look at what I did. It looks cool.
I'm like, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm like, I did a thing.
It's cute.
And anyway,
your enthusiasm is cute.
I love designing things,
logos
and shirts and stuff and social media shit and all that.
Yeah.
So if you have a request, like if there's something that I've done on there that you're like, maybe it'd be better if it just like a little bit like this, just let me know. I've been on Twitter before and someone's like, I wish I had a shirt that looked like that. And I'm like, give me a minute.
Done.
And then I go do it because I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So why not? But yeah, go check it out. See what we got for sale already and let me know if there's any ideas. I'd love to hear them. And now that I'm finished with that, what are we getting into today?
Today we are covering Proverbs chapter 19.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. All right, well, as you asked, we are in Proverbs chapter 19. We're in the section called Proverbs concerning life and conduct.
Okay.
And this is part of the second collection within the Book of Proverbs, which, as you pointed out, was the first Solomonic collection, or just the Proverbs of Solomon.
Sure.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, so here we go.
All right.
Better the poor whose walk is blameless than a fool whose lips are perverse.
So we're not comparing the poor to the rich, but they're blameless.
Only if their walk is blameless.
Only if their walk... Okay, that probably means they got to stay on that straight path.
Yeah.
But they're compared to a fool now.
Right.
So, but earlier there was a time when they said that the poor were fools. So apparently that's not true sometimes.
Some poor are not fools.
Okay.
They're merely just poor.
As long as they're on the right path and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Got it.
Desire without knowledge is not good. How much more will hasty feet miss the way?
Hasty feet.
Don't let me down.
Yeah. Okay.
Desire without knowledge.
I guess that, I mean, sure. Anything without knowledge is not you should probably, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
Right, because here's the thing. I love to write, okay?
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time learning different writing methods. I learn about the vocabulary of those who are in the writing universe.
Yeah.
And I learn, I watch videos about writing. I listen to podcasts. I get writing guides. So I have a desire to write, and I have a lot of knowledge because my desire has led me to learn more and more and more.
Yeah.
To me, you can usually tell if somebody has a desire or just wishes that they wanted to, based on whether or not they have actually pursued any kind of interest in it. You love chess, so you play chess all the fucking time.
I do.
You always have like 20 different games going against various people on your cell phone.
I do.
And you love talking about chess. You love challenging other people to games of chess. Not me, because I shut that shit down.
I watch chess shit on YouTube sometimes.
Right. But I know people who are like, oh, I could write a book, or oh, I've always wanted to write a book, or yeah, I like chess. But then, like, if you ask them, have you ever looked into these things? They're always like, nah, who's got the time?
So I'm torn on this because of this. I think that it's okay to have desire without knowledge as long as that desire leads to knowledge eventually. Like, we had a desire to start a podcast.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
We didn't know fuck about it. Starting the podcast.
One might posit that we still don't know shit about it.
I mean, compared to some, we don't know shit. You know, like, we do this on a crappy computer in our dining room, and we do it kind of haphazardly, you know?
Yeah.
And
as a matter of fact, during our last live on Tuesday, the computer crashed partway through. It did. Now, if you listen to that episode now, you wouldn't be able to hardly tell.
Right. Unless you were on that live episode, then you definitely know where that was.
Right. but what I'm saying is, like, anybody else might not be able to know. Because we have gained the knowledge to be able to work around that.
Yeah. But I think that sometimes jumping in without knowledge is not a bad thing, so long as your desire... there's desire that leads to frivolousness, right?
Sure.
And just like...
Give an example. Give an example of frivolous desire.
The desire to eat out, like, that's frivolous. Like, I desire, without knowledge, how much money I have in my account. I'm just going to go eat out. You know, you could hurt yourself knowing that way, right?
Oh, you know
and
what?
I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think of an example of
why.
Okay,
I've got one too. I have a friend of a friend who's always like, oh, that sounds fun. I'm going to get into that. And they pick up a new hobby.
Yeah.
Like, quote unquote, pick up the new hobby. And they go buy all the stuff for it.
Right.
But then a month later, they have not opened up any single thing. Like, none of their packages. Like, it's all, you know, still just sitting there in a pile. And they're like, oh, why did I do that? I'm not really interested. I thought I was.
I mean, that's me to an extent. But I tend to do a lot of research before I actually buy something toward my...
And that'll talk you out of spending the money where it's not
It will.
needed.
Or I'll choose to buy something smaller to
Start
test
small.
my desire.
Sure.
So,
sure.
But I think that as long as your desire does lead to something, that it's still okay and good.
Yeah.
But whatever. We're going on way too long about this.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I just like the idea that if you are really interested in something and you have the desire, you can tell by how much time you put into learning more about it.
Yeah.
If you have been saying for years that you have an interest in XYZ, ask yourself, do I really though?
Right.
Like, how much time have I spent learning about it?
Right. That shows you your will to actually do it.
Here's a personal example. I love reading, and for the longest time, I always said that I was going to read all the classics.
Right.
And here's the fact of the matter. We have all the classics on our shelves, and I also am a library whore, so I have access to everything free through my phone if I wanted to do audio instead of pick up a physical book.
Yeah.
I have discovered, because I have access to these and have not pursued it, the truth of the matter is that I wish I wanted to have interest in these.
Yeah.
I want to
But your reading list is like miles long too. So you are like...
No excuses for me.
Well,
no excuses, because this example that I'm trying to give tells me how much I actually have this desire.
Right.
I have pursued desire for things that I don't own versus stuff that I actually have access to.
Right, which could be viewed as detrimental because we bought the books.
It could, but they're classics, and it's fine to have classics on your shelf.
But I'm just saying, it could be viewed as like a frivolous purchase because you desired something that didn't actually pan out to be something that you really pursued.
Right. So. That is true. And, you know, no shade if you find out, like, oh, I guess I didn't really want to do that as much as I thought I did.
Right.
Like, you still learned something. But
ultimately, it's just not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I think that if you've been telling yourself for 20 years, if I only had the money, if I only had the time, if I only had the resources, I would totally do this XYZ thing.
Yeah.
Ask yourself if that is true.
Sure.
Don't lie to yourself. That's all.
Yeah.
A person's own folly. Oh, let me try that again without being sick. Sorry. A person's own folly leads to their ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord.
A person's own folly leads to ruin, yet their heart rages against the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds of counterintuitive as far as how that's said. Because it's like they're bad and then they're also bad. Yet they're also bad.
Their foolishness, folly is foolishness, leads to their own ruin. And even so, they're raging against the Lord because that's how foolish they are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did I rephrase that? Does that...
It helps a little bit. Like they're raging against the Lord because even though it's their own stupid choices, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like I guess that should be maybe how it's read.
Yeah.
So whatever, right? Who cares?
I don't know. I was just trying to understand it better.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't really care.
Right.
Wealth attracts many friends, but even the closest friend to the poor person deserts them.
What?
Wealth
No. You know what? Wealth attracts many fucking
wannabe and
fake friends.
Yeah.
And if you're poor, your friends are your treasured people.
That is true.
So fuck that comment. Yeah, that is a stupid comment.
This is a dumb comment.
Yeah.
If people pull away from you during your times of hardship, whether financial or otherwise,
right,
you should rethink who your friends are.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been that bad friend who pulled away from somebody when they went through something rough. And then I had to ask myself, what kind of person am I? And then I went back later and apologized and tried to make amends.
Yeah.
So, no shade. I'm just saying, again, examine who you are as a person and try to be better.
Right. But that comment, like in the Bible, I view that exactly opposite.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Totally agree. A false I'm having a hard time and I apologize.
Can't imagine why.
Well, my nose is all plugged up.
I know.
So
I'm sitting across from you. I can tell.
I know.
I bet even our fans can tell.
I'm sure they can. So I'm just continually apologizing because I'm going to fuck this up as we go. Husband fine. Did ask, should we maybe wait? And I was like, no.
Yeah. I did not press your wife into doing this.
No, I was like, let's just go ahead. And maybe I should have taken his advice. You guys be the judge. Let me know. A false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will not go free.
Well, I guess that's yet to be determined. We got to find out. So
Trump was he turned himself in today, so we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see how that all goes.
I think that is a true statement in the most ideal world,
right? Which
we don't live in, because often false witnesses do go unpunished and liars do go free.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we complain about our justice system being so fucked.
Yeah.
Many curry favor with a ruler, and everyone is the friend of one who gives gifts.
That's what I was saying before, that the rich don't necessarily have friends. They have people that are currying favor.
Yes.
They're trying to get some of that, like, there's the good stuff. Let's get some of that shit. Yeah. They got all the money, they got all the wealth. Let's be friends with them.
I don't know how many of you watched the Republican debates last night, but I think Vivek Ramaswamy was totally trying to gain favor and curry favor with Trump.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to be his VP so bad.
Yeah.
He stained his undies.
That guy he's dangerous. He's dangerous.
Yeah. And I think he's gonna be seriously considered as Trump's.
Can you imagine that ticket? That ticket is the most ridiculous fucking ticket I could imagine.
Right.
I mean, that would be such an absurd.
How are the racists gonna be okay with that? Like, no, a brown person? What?
What? I think that he might actually breathe, even in the ridiculousness of it, because he's younger and because he is such a blowhard. I think that might actually help Trump.
Yeah, no,
and
I agree.
I hate to say that.
I totally agree.
That scares me. That ticket scares me a little bit.
It does me too, but that's for a different
and I think he's really dumb too.
We're going to talk about that another time.
I know, right.
But no, I totally agree. Okay, the poor are shunned by all their relatives. How much more do their friends avoid them?
Wow.
This
You
is
people are
gross,
shitty people.
right?
The way your family shuns you for being poor, and your friends are like, "Fuck you."
Wow.
You got these are crap ass people. I don't like them.
Though the poor pursue them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found.
Damn.
Right?
Like, I just need some help, man. You
need
were my
help.
friend when I had money. What the fuck?
Yeah. I would be cutting some people off.
Well, they don't give a shit. You're poor.
Right. But that assumes that you'll stay poor.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
you'll never
but them
regain your
cutting you
feet.
off and your family cutting you off is, helping guarantee that too.
Is helping you stay poor.
Yeah. So like that's just shitty though. I cannot imagine having a friend who's down and out and saying, fuck you.
Well, I think that this goes along hand in hand with, what did you do to deserve this? So you probably brought this on yourself. You're an evil sinner if you're being poor right now. So I can't associate with an evil sinner.
Right.
So bye, poor person.
Before you move along, I've got a correction I forgot to do in the beginning of the episode.
Oh yeah.
I meant to do it last night's episode, but we mentioned a couple episodes ago, the Sunglasses at Night song.
Oh yeah.
And I think we said it was by somebody else, but it's by Corey Hart.
I never said who it was by.
Well, I might have hinted at it.
I don't believe either of us did.
Well, regardless, I said it was a stalker song.
You did.
And it's not. It's not a stalker song. Sorry about that. I just wanted to say it before I forgot to say it in yet another episode. So
got it.
That's all.
Got it.
I'm done with my correction now. That's my correction.
I mean, I know the
I
song,
was wrong,
but I don't know who sings it.
I think it was Corey Hart is who they said.
Okay.
So
I know that I said the song "Every Breath You Take" by the Police is a stalker song.
yeah,
but that one is.
That one is right.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you, Carmen.
Thank you, Carmen,
right, yeah.
for correcting
Yes,
husband.
yes.
He does always need to be brought down.
I'm
a
often
notch.
wrong.
I love it when you're wrong because you're never wrong. So when you are wrong, it's like yes. It's like when you're bad at something for a minute, just a minute, be bad at something.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Right.
The one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper.
I'm sure. Okay.
Sure.
Not always, but sure. Whatever.
Learn more, be better, do better.
Those things don't make you win.
No,
but they
make
don't
you a
hurt.
better person.
They don't hurt.
Yeah.
So
a false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will perish.
we literally just said those
But-
exact words like
but
3
perish?
sentences. Well, yeah,
Holy
we didn't say
shit.
perish.
That escalated.
That did escalate pretty quickly.
I don't think that liars perish.
But why do they? I don't understand why these proverbs say the same fucking things over and over and over and over again.
Because they're collections.
Right, but like it's collections of proverbs, and we're in one of the proverbs. So why?
Within the
Why
same
is it
proverb.
collection of collection? Like, why is there a collection within the collection? These are like sub collections.
No, I totally agree with you. But, what you gonna do?
I don't know.
It is not fitting for a fool to live in luxury. How much worse for a slave to rule over princes? What?
I don't give a fuck if a slave rules over princes. I'm like, damn the man, you go, man. Whatever. Fuck that shit.
How about if
no one should rule over anybody?
Let's not have slaves. I like that plan. No slaves.
Yeah, right. That's a better plan.
Yeah.
I'm down with that plan.
Yeah. And we do have fools living in luxury.
Yes, we
Our
do.
system not only allows for it, it encourages it.
I think that's all we ever see on the nightly news is fucking fools living in luxury.
Uh-huh. It's why general strike is being whispered in every corner of America.
Right.
A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense.
It depends on the offense. And yes, patience is a virtue. And
virtue is a grace. Grace is a little girl who doesn't wash her face.
What?
That's the thing I learned. Patience is a virtue. Virtue is a grace. Grace is a little girl who doesn't wash her face.
Oh.
That's the thing I learned when I was a kid.
Okay.
You never learned it?
I never learned that.
So when you said patience is a virtue,
it
how
just
can I
triggered
not
that.
say the rest?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but what was the rest? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there because
a person's wisdom yields patience, which is good.
Yeah.
And it is to one's glory to overlook an offense. It depends on the offense.
It depends on the offense. Like little things can be let go, but if it's big,
yeah,
you need to call that shit out. Like that's not. I literally just got done with, we had mandatory sexual harassment training at work today, right? And you're supposed to, even if you just witness it and somebody else doing it to somebody else, you're supposed to report that shit. Because those offenses are too big to let go. Yeah. Right? It's not a virtue to just let that slide. No. Because someone is being harassed. Someone is being taken advantage of. Someone is being put in a really shitty position. Yeah. And it is up to you to do something about that. Even to your own detriment sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. I understand why letting it go is considered wisdom in the Bible. Because this is 2,000, 3,000 years ago. And they don't understand that
sexual harassment. They don't understand why a woman would feel like she has the right to complain about somebody grabbing her ass.
It's not just. I think that most of society struggles with not. It makes your life harder to say something against the grain.
It does,
right? If you go against what is expected, you're suddenly the shitty asshole.
Everybody's looking at you for making waves instead of the asshole who did the bad thing in the first fucking place.
Right. So nobody likes to do that. And that's why it's seen as a virtue, quote unquote, to not say something.
Go along to get along. Just stay quiet.
But I'm here to say fuck that.
Yeah. I agree.
And I've grown into that because I was more the other way before I met you.
You were.
And you have brought no, fuck that. We need to say something out of me. Yeah. And I think it's a better way to be. It's the more harder. Correct. It's harder, but it's the more correct way to be.
Agreed. It's just that I've always been an asshole that everybody doesn't like, so I'm used to that. Right. You're not used to that because you are the quiet, nice person of patience that everybody, it surprises people when you speak up because I'm always speaking up.
I was going to say, if I may have taught you to hold your tongue a little bit more than you used to. Sure. Because it is more effective if you utilize it at the correct time instead of...
Use your voice when it matters so that it's more likely to be heard.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A king's rage is like the roar of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass. I love when kings doo-doo on the grass. A foolish child is a father's ruin.
Oh, no.
And a quarrelsome wife is like the constant dripping of a leaky roof. Fucking nag. God. She's always telling me to take the trash out and yelling at me when I leave footprints on the floor she just mopped.
Yeah.
Oh, if that bitch would just stop.
Those damn kids and wives. Jesus. If it wasn't for them, I'd be fucking fine.
Right. You'd be lonely and you'd have to cook your own fucking whatever and mop your own shit.
Right.
So, yes, those are your options. You can, whatever. Yeah. We know what I'm saying.
Well, obviously the guy, sorry, I can't even say it. I was going to say that the guy obviously just didn't beat his wife enough.
Oh my God. You need to stop.
I'm just saying in the Bible. Like this is Bible thinking here. I'm just saying, I mean, that was a thing, right? That was how they did things back then. You got to keep your wife in line and stuff. They don't have the rights or any of that shit. And
you stopped asking.
It is not, just for the record, it is not okay to beat your wife.
Ever.
It is fucking wrong, and I will call you out on that bullshit and fuck you for doing that.
Yeah, totally.
But at the same time, like,
you stopped asking me, like, why are you nagging me all the time? Because my response is, why are you not doing the thing I asked you to do all the time? Like, it's a legit fucking response.
Right.
Like,
right.
I am nagging you because you are a child who was not taught to take care of your own shit.
We have learned, you and I have learned to, we know where each other stands on pretty much everything. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of, like, our quarrels, quote unquote, at this point are more of a routine fight.
Yeah.
It's did you really do that again? Jesus.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, if I mop the floor and you put footprints on it, like coming in, walking in the freshly mowed grass or mud or something.
Yeah.
Like, you would not be like, bitch, don't criticize me.
No, I'd probably be like, oh shit, and then clean it up.
Yeah. Or you would be like, actually, yes, I know I did that, and that sucks, and I'm sorry, but here's why. And then we would both be annoyed.
Right.
With each other and with the whole thing.
Sure.
And then we would watch Doctor Who and fart in each other's general direction, and it would be fine. And
everything would be great.
Yeah. 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 Houses and wealth are inherited from parents, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Aww. You get your physical belongings from your parents, because all parents, didn't you know, have houses and wealth.
Well,
they do.
The only way to attain wealth back then would have been through an inheritance,
and every parent had that.
Right.
Period. The end. They all had houses and wealth.
Unless you were poor, there were poor people too.
No. Every parent has houses and wealth, and they pass them down to their kids. That's what this is saying.
Okay.
And everybody is lucky, and everybody has wealth and houses.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
And you got a prudent wife from the Lord. It had nothing to do with you making good choices and winning me over, or me making good choices and winning you over. Nothing.
Right,
I'm from the Lord.
Right. No.
Oh,
No.
Laziness brings on deep sleep, and the shiftless go hungry.
The shiftless go hungry.
Lazy people, they sleep too much all the time, and that's why, and then they go hungry.
Okay.
How about people that sleep a lot might have physical and or mental issues, and they're not lazy. Maybe they just have a problem.
Right. Could be.
And maybe the people in their life who love them help them not go hungry.
Yeah.
How about that?
Could be.
Whoever keeps commandments keeps their life, but whoever shows contempt for their ways will die.
Damn.
We die.
The commandments I'm assuming they're referring to are the 10 Commandments?
Sure.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Or just any commandments, maybe.
You keep commandments and you keep your life.
As long as you follow rules type thing.
Follow rules, don't die.
Got it.
You stay alive.
Yeah.
I will find you.
I mean, generally, I'm kind of okay with, like, you stop at a stop sign, right? That's
sure.
It's commanding you to stop, and that keeps you alive. And you wear a seatbelt, that keeps you, I mean, usually, and I'm not saying always, but I would say usually rules are there for a good reason.
And whoever shows contempt for their ways will die.
Yeah, that's a bit excessive,
die.
But whatever.
We all die, whether we keep the rules or not.
Right.
Do you mean you're likely to die sooner than people who keep rules?
I mean, if you break rules on a consistent basis, I would say, yeah, you probably are living recklessly and are probably going to die sooner. And on average, compared to other people.
I don't know. That reminds me, I just saw one of my cousins sent me a meme that showed a picture of Mick Jagger at age 50 and Mitch McConnell at age 51.
Yeah.
And then it said, don't ever underestimate the power of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
You sure it wasn't 71? 70 and 71?
Could be, probably.
That would have been
makes
pictures
more
from
sense.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay.
But, I'm shitty with numbers.
Right.
But anyway, the point stands. Don't underestimate the power of sex, drugs, and rock and roll to be the better lifestyle that keeps you alive, or something like along those lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done.
They were nice to the poor again.
Yep.
That's good.
Yay. Discipline your children, for in that there is hope. Do not be a willing party to their death.
Wow. Damn. We definitely discipline our children, but I don't think we discipline them in the way that the Bible would instruct us to discipline them. So their discipline, the idea of discipline and what it means, I think has evolved quite significantly since biblical times. It's much better now.
Not for a lot of Christians. They still beat the kids.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Not only that, but like you'll be party to their death.
I feel like I feel like corporal punishment is a cop out for not knowing how to handle situations.
I mean, obviously.
Right.
It's not being able to control your frustration and anger as an adult, but yet expecting a child to be able to control their frustration and anger.
Right.
A hot-tempered person must pay the penalty. Rescue them and you will have to do it again.
Okay. I don't know where to... Okay. Sure. I guess if you rescue a hot-tempered person, they're hot-tempered, so maybe they will do it again. And then if you care about them, then I guess you'll rescue them again.
Yeah, and they're saying that's bad. You should let them suffer. Don't
Well, you either care about them or you don't.
Well,
And
stop rescuing them.
Sure, you are more than welcome to do that, I guess. But it's your choice whether you rescue them or not. So
right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I wonder, like, they say a hot-tempered person. I wonder how far that extends. Like, can we extend that maybe to, like, if you have, like, I have some friends or friends of friends or whatever who their oldest child is involved in, like, he's been in and out of rehab. He's like seriously just on
Sure.
drugs and not a great person.
Yeah.
And in order to preserve their family life and the lives of their other children, they've cut this child off.
Mm.
And I don't know. I'm not here to say whether that's a good or bad thing. I'm not here to judge them. I don't know how much trouble that kid has put them through. I don't know how much they contributed to the child being a problem in the first place.
Right.
So I don't really know them. Like I said, friend of friends, whatever.
Yeah.
So those parents decided after being burned so many times that they are just going to let that kid pay the penalty and they're not going to keep rescuing them.
I think that sometimes tough love can be the correct option.
Sure.
For sure.
Sure.
I'm just saying that if you choose to help, then you choose.
Right.
I don't see the harm. Yes, sometimes tough love can be the correct choice, but if you love somebody, you're going to bail them out a couple of times. You know,
Sure.
I mean, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I just wanted your take on that after what you had just said.
I don't know. I don't. Everything that they say in here. These takes are very vague and very not allowing for any gray area, as we said before.
Right. No nuance.
And it kind of sets my hairs on end. You know.
We're automatically predisposed to disagree with them just on general principle
because they're dumb. They're stupid
dumb.
Statements.
Yeah. Yeah. And moreover, I think a lot of these are like they have to be judged on a one-by-one basis.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why we stopped doing the multiple proverbs and focusing in on one, because it's easier to comment. Like, there's really nothing to these proverbs. They're just good, bad, good, bad, good, bad.
Yeah.
And so you're either just going to read it and allow them to stand as they stand or comment on them. And we're more inclined to comment on them because they're trying to take stances on issues that they really have no authority on based on what they're saying.
Right.
So.
Right. Listen to advice and accept discipline, and at the end, you'll be counted among the wise.
I
mean, I like to listen to advice, except when it's bad advice.
Yeah.
And I don't accept discipline because I'm a grown-ass person. Like, do not discipline me. This is like, you know, I'm in my mid to late 40s. I don't ask permission to go to the bathroom anywhere.
Right.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
I respectfully say, hey, we need to get somebody else up here. I need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
I don't say, may I please, if it pleases you, oh boss person who doesn't pay my check. You don't. Somebody else does.
Well, I think that, I mean, when I was younger, I definitely listened to a lot of rules that probably had no place in existing.
Right.
You know, and I've learned over my lifetime that there are many rules in place, especially when you're a younger child, that are ridiculous.
Right.
And why should anybody have to adhere to the fact that, like, using the restroom is one of those things where you sometimes, with some teachers, you weren't allowed to use the restroom. Like, you would ask, can I use the restroom? And they would say no. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. My asking was like just a politeness. I didn't actually,
like, I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna shit on the floor here, so I'll just, you know,
I guess I'll head to the office as soon as I do my business.
Right, yeah.
Like, no, I think you misunderstood me. I'm leaving the classroom. Do I need to stop by the office on my way back?
Right.
That's the question.
But I didn't have that the ability to stand up for myself to that extent.
Right. So you would just sit there and squirm in your desk and hope you didn't piss your pants.
Most certainly would.
And I was the asshole that was like, oh, bye.
Yeah, and it wasn't for any good reason. It was because they deemed whatever we were going over next was more important than the fact that I had to take a piss.
Try being a girl and Hi, I don't just need to take a piss. I actually have to change my tampon.
Right.
And because for many girls, you have to poop more often when you're on your period. So I probably have to poop too.
Right.
Like, so I might be more than, the 5 minutes. So is that okay? Please, may I please?
But
No, fuck you.
ultimately, you're being graded on your grades and on your testing ability. Who gives a fuck if you miss 5 minutes of class to go take a piss?
Right.
If it becomes an issue where you are doing this all the time and your grades are going down,
right,
then the teacher and the principal should have a sit down with you and say,
sure,
look, this is going on. It seems like you're doing this and da-da-da.
Yeah.
Do you need help? What can we do for you? And maybe we should reconsider how much you are allowed to leave the classroom because it seems like it's excessive.
Right.
You should have a discussion with them about it if it becomes excessive.
Or do we need to contact your doctors or your parents and get a doctor involved?
Right.
Because you are leaving the classroom excessively.
Yeah. But they should not stop you ever.
Ever. It's none of your goddamn business what I am doing with my genitalia.
Right.
And, maybe I just need to go sit in the bathroom and cry for a minute. You don't fucking know.
But I definitely felt like it was against the rules to leave the classroom to go to the restroom.
And it was.
When I was in school.
Because it was.
Right.
I'd usually just go ahead and leave anyway and go to the office and call my mom and say, this is what's happening.
Right.
So I'm sitting here in the office waiting for the bell to ring because I'm not going back to that class. I'll just, go to the next one, whatever.
Right.
Another thing is, and I know I'm being excessive on this one point, so I'll make it quick. When you and I were getting married, and we worked at Borders, and I told my supervisor, here's our wedding date, and so we'll be taking...
Nope. We weren't at Borders.
Oh, no, you're right. This is my ex. You're looking at me like, the fuck are you talking about?
Right, yeah.
In my mind, you're the only one I've ever married.
Oh, okay. All right.
So every story is about you.
Got it, yeah.
I put that ex right out of my brain. All right. You're right. No, it was my ex. Anyways, but we did both work at Borders at that time. That's
when
why.
You were getting married to your last husband.
Yes. So anyway, I told my supervisor, here's the day I'm getting married, and here's, we're taking our honeymoon during blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And so, I won't be in, and I filled out all the paperwork and everything, blah, blah, blah. And that dude literally came back because I reminded him again like a month before the time was coming due. And he goes, well, you may not be able to take that time off. We'll see. You need to ask. And I was like, I literally told, and his name was Adam, and I hate him so much, and I hope he just, whatever. I hope he gets everything that he deserves in this life. How about that? Whatever that may be, he knows what it is.
Right.
I literally looked right at him, and I did say, I think you misunderstand me. I won't be here during those dates. How can I help you make this easier? And he was like, well, you may have to be here. And I said, I won't be here. Right. I'm not coming to work on the day that I literally already told you I'm getting married on, and I won't be here during my honeymoon.
Right.
If you need to fire me, you go right ahead, and Ohio is one of those shit-ass states where you can.
Right.
But I won't be here. How can I make this easier for you? What can I do? Who do I need to talk to replace me during, this difficult time for you? Like all of a sudden pretending that like I'm indispensable and can't be replaced. Like I'm the only one that can do this job. What will you do without me?
That's something I rail against. Like,
please.
They act like you can't do it because they need you.
Right.
But they're also like, well, you might lose your job. Like, wait, do you need me or do you not need me?
Right. Which one is it?
Right.
And moreover, like when I quit, you're like, oh, sorry. When I quit, you're like, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. And I'm like, so I wasn't indispensable then.
Right.
Like, you didn't actually fucking need me.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So you're a liar.
Right.
And it's basically corporations are like, whichever works in our favor, either you're the best or you're the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, listen to advice. Oh, no, we just read that one. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails.
Okay.
I don't care. Whatever. Pass. What a person desires is unfailing love. Better to be poor than a liar.
I mean,
those two don't go together in my mind.
No, they don't go together. But I mean, I think people desire more than just unfailing love, which I'm assuming they're attributing to God. Or is that right? Like God has unfailing love for us, right?
Yeah.
I don't desire that.
Right.
I do desire really great relationships with people that I care about, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm that one, whatever.
And how does better to be poor than a liar?
I don't know.
One is a physical situation. The other is who you are personality wise.
Right.
The two don't go together.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fear of the Lord leads to life. Then one rests content, untouched by trouble.
Except for that you have fear all the time because of God.
Right.
Apparently.
Right. And I know plenty of poor people who fear the Lord or love the Lord, whatever.
Yeah.
They're still poor.
They are.
A sluggard buries his hands in the dish. He will not even bring it back to his mouth.
That's really fucking lazy.
I've never met that sluggard.
Right?
Every sluggard I know, old Puddin' Ron,
Old Puddin' Ron?
You never heard of the story of Ron DeSantis? He ate his pudding with his 3 fingers while he was on the plane because there was no spoon.
Oh.
So they call him Old Puddin' Ron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I can't believe you've never heard that.
I do recall that story now that you mention it, but yeah.
You never heard of Old Puddin' Ron?
Nope.
He buried his hand in that dish, but he did bring it back to his mouth. Yeah.
I've never seen somebody stop mid-eating motion because they were that lazy.
Yeah, me neither.
Not once in my entire life.
That seems like you made that shit up.
Right?
Flog a mocker.
Flog a mocker? That sounds like a band name.
I was just going to say, that is the name of my next bag. Flog a mocker. And the simple will learn prudence. Rebuke the discerning, and they will gain knowledge.
No.
That is absolutely false.
Flogging should never be done, ever.
Let's not flog anybody. No flogging, no beating, no disciplining with physical measures, none of that.
Right.
And how about this? Let's just use our words. And if somebody is simple, they'll do the best they can. And if somebody is discerning, then they'll do the best they can. Yeah. Everybody just do the best you can.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't flog people.
Don't do ever. It. Don't. A mocker. Even a mocker. Don't flog a mocker.
Right. Yeah.
That should be on a shirt. Don't flog a mocker.
Right. Yeah.
Whoever robs their father and drives out their mother is a child who brings shame and disgrace.
Sure. You robbed
your father and you drove out your mother.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, you are shameful and disgraceful.
I agree with that one. I guess to the extent that I can.
I agree with it to the extent that I don't know if maybe the father was a piece of shit and the mother deserved to be pushed out the door.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Stop listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge.
Okay.
When you stop reading instructions...
It depends on what kind of instructions they are, though.
If they're IKEA instructions... We've done this one before.
Oh, have we? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
But... if you stop reading instructions, then yes, it is correct that you will not get the rest of the instructions.
But if Tucker Carlson wrote instructions for me,
I wouldn't read them.
I wouldn't read them.
No.
No.
A corrupt witness mocks at justice, and the mouth of the wicked gulps down evil. Gulp, gulp.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. That one didn't.
Cup of evil.
That one didn't register in my brain.
A corrupt witness mocks at justice.
Okay.
And the mouth of the wicked gulps down evil. Bad is bad.
Okay, bad is bad.
Yeah.
Got it.
Penalties are prepared for mockers and beatings for the backs of fools.
Damn, they like beating people.
Let's not beat people.
Flogging people.
No flogging, no beating.
Yeah.
Penalties can be...
jail time, maybe.
Fees.
I'm okay with jail time and fees, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't need to fucking beat people and...
And you know what? I don't think penalties need to be put on mockers.
Right. Mockers are just mockers.
That makes
me... If you can't, sticks and stones, right?
Well, it makes me think about the cop who was trying to find a way to arrest the guy that gave him the middle finger.
Right.
He was he was talking to his fellow cops going, couldn't we get him on this charge or that charge? Isn't it illegal to blah, blah, blah? And the guys were like, no, actually, no.
Right.
No, he's allowed to flip you off. You just have to be the fucking adult and deal with it. Sometimes cops get the middle finger at them.
Yeah.
Especially when they're piece of shits like you.
You know what? Be clever. Come back with something that's even, better than what they said. And then you win. Or
I know this is radical. Ignore it. Because you're a fucking cop.
Better option. There's the better option. Like, just fucking ignore it.
You're a cop. You're in a position of power. You have a gun. And all of that is not enough to make your little ego feel good. The fact that somebody gave you the middle finger still made you feel like a teeny tiny little boy.
Yeah.
All right. I have one note on this.
One note.
Singular.
Got
which is more than I had for the rest of this week.
It is.
This collection contains 375 sayings. Okay? This whole collection that we're in right now.
Got it.
Each of which consists of 2 parallel phrases, except for Proverbs 19 verse 7, which consisted of 3 parts.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember it?
I do not.
It was boring. I noticed it at the time. It's not worth repeating.
Okay.
There were 3 parts.
Okay.
Do you want me to? I'll read it if you want.
That's fine.
I didn't care.
I don't really give a shit that much.
Me neither.
But
there's that note.
They're all contrasting things.
They're all this is this and that is that.
I don't think you need any help with these sections. It's very fucking straightforward.
Right.
And I really hate it. Like, it's fun I'm enjoying talking about the different aspects of how we feel about these things.
Yeah.
But if I were to just read Proverbs straight through,
fuck you as well.
Holy fucking hell, this is stupid. Yeah. Stupid shit.
These don't apply to today or my life.
Right? Yeah. I couldn't even imagine. Like, this is so dry. I imagine most people just pass over. They skip.
Pass. Yep.
So anyway, that was Proverbs chapter 19.
Sure as fuck was.
And assuming you are healthy enough, we will be back tomorrow with...
Nothing, because tomorrow's Saturday.
Oh.
But we will be back on Sunday with a Patreon episode.
Yes, because we didn't do one last week because birthday and time and shitty whatever.
Life stuff.
Yeah, life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll do a Patreon episode. And I'm thinking we'll probably talk about the Republican debate.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Now, I did ask you to make this more relevant for some of our patrons that don't like politics and to bring up some of the things because there was a lot of mention of God in that debate.
Yes.
And I'm interested in kind of pulling apart some of those ideas, at least at the beginning of that episode. Maybe we can delve into the other stuff in the later part of the
to make it a little more relevant to our international listeners.
Yeah.
I agree.
And even the politics, we'll try to make them more universally relevant.
Yeah.
So, but that being said, we'll see our patrons on Sunday.
Yep.
And then we'll be back on Monday with...
Proverbs chapter 20.
All right. We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.